I don't believe that good teaching is that the children memorize specific dates or they know every vocabulary word. It's that you're teaching or you're inspiring or you're wanting them to know how to gain knowledge, how to learn, and that they don't want to give up. And Charles does exactly that. He is overlooking the classroom and allowing the kids to grapple with new ideas. They're the ones that are really intrinsically learning because they are the ones having to do the learning. He doesn't spoon feed things. He makes them give it. He encourages conversation and he encourages dialogue of different views. And everyone has done their homework to be part of that discussion because they don't want to let Mr. Spikes down. And they question things and they talk about real life. And they leave there wanting to do more.
He doesn't shy away from kids actually speaking. He's not one of those teachers who wants his classroom silent and quiet, everyone in a perfect row. He wants kids in groups. He wants them dialoguing, struggling over the literary element, those types of things. They're writing. He wants them to be actually discussing and learning from each other. And that's what sets him apart, is that he really wants all kids to be successful.
I think his ultimate goal now is to reach those kids that we haven't been able to reach. Because I think for the longest time, we've kind of they'll get it at some point. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. Or along the way, they'll pick it up. But he's ensuring that they will have it before they move on.
Well, I definitely have to say, when he says that he's going to be preparing you for the next year by having you do A, B, and C with your writing, he definitely has prepared me, especially when we're talking about, embedding direct quotations from evidence, and even not from an educational standpoint, from learning how to kind of deal with people, be able to have a friendly conversation. Those really have also carried on from what I've learned from him.
And what's really neat about his classroom is that students are not afraid to take risks. And in education, that is immensely important. You have to be able to stand up and maybe risk that you don't have the right answer. And it is a balance of both of those things that makes his classroom work really, really well.
Whatever it does that you can keep engagement high, it makes it so that they're learning the content. If by the time you hook them, you got them, and then they'll learn all about different things. Say like they want to learn about KWL or scaffolding or going and accessing prior knowledge and making connections to themselves, to the world, to other literature. If you have that first piece or whatever it is, and there's something that interests them, all those other things will build off of that one. And then once that's established, everything else sort of flows out of that. And I'm not gonna lie and say it's always fun to be in classroom. Sometimes it's not, but you're going to have more fun than we're going to be bored. And that's generated by the kids. And once they accept that these are their boundaries, and this is where we need to get to, a lot of good things happen.
He is the one that changes those children's lives by reaching out and finding, oh, you need help with your homework? Let me find you a tutor, because you don't get to say no. There are no excuses. And he lives his life with no excuses, and he expects that from everybody else. And he does it in a way that's non-threatening, and they deliver that. And so he really is, I believe that is 100% affecting our kids at school.